Hey, welcome back. Well, it's in the morning. We're coming up on 9 a.m. here on Friday, April 15th, tax day. Well, we got some MLB plays for you here. We're a little late with the program today, but I just couldn't stay up last night and get it all done. My mind wasn't right. I was tired. This excavation project is just kicking my ass. I'm clearly not in peak physical condition. I used to be in peak physical condition. 5 years ago, I was training to run a marathon. I ran the 2017 Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C. And since then, the world ended and I gained 50 pounds. So, this kind of physical activity at the moment is not something I'm used to, and it's kicking my ass. But that's all right. We'll get back in shape. So, I guess we've been going good so far early in the year, and I guess we're ready to jump back in here and get at it here on this Monday. I got a text here just now from Louie, and it made me almost go, wait, what? I was under the impression Louis watches all the videos, and and then he's the one that Pittsburgh Louis offers his own picks in the comments. And last year he had a nice year, and was plus, pretty solidly on the plus side at the conclusion of the year, and I think he's going to be back here for a second year now. He was talking about how good the Phillies are going to be. I'm like, what? I mean, I thought you watched these videos. The Phillies aren't going to be that good. I mean, just because you spend money doesn't mean you're any good. The Phillies will win some games just through, home runs, but they're going to have a lot of games like last night where they should have won that game last night, but they didn't, because this is a team that says three true outcomes: home run, walk, strikeout. They don't have a lot of guys that move the chain, move the lineup, that get a single, walk, bunt a guy over, hit to the opposite field. They're slow as hell, so they're not going to have a heck of a lot of first to thirds. They're going to get guys thrown out on the base pass all over the place, especially since they got Bryce Harper on the team, who leads the league in toot bland. If you don't know what that is, toot bland, thrown out on the bases like a nincompoop. It's an actual official MLB stat, believe it or not. You can look it up on MLB.com. Toot bland. Thrown out on the bases like a nincompoop. Harper always leads the league in that. He's just so convinced that he is the greatest base runner in the history of baseball, and he's so aggressive, and he has no respect for the other team, and apparently he has no memory either. It's like a fish. He just he gets thrown out, and that doesn't register with him. He just goes and does it again and does it again and does it again. And the Phillies apparently have no leadership on that team, because nobody goes to him and says, hey, you're hurting us, man. Stop that. We got 8 other guys in the lineup. Let someone else knock you in. You don't need to move up on that single in the gap, which you think should be a double, and then they throw you out. We got other guys that can knock you in. So nobody has done that in his entire tenure with the Phillies. Maybe I've heard the word dog attached to Nick Castellanos. From my era, dog means you're bad. That's a bad player. You're a dog. Dog means bad in my to my generation. Apparently, dog means you're tough, you're mean, you're a gamer, you're into the new generation. So I don't know what Castellanos is yet. So if he's that tough guy, maybe he'll be the one that goes up to Harper next time he gets thrown out on the bases and says, stop it. But, So anyway, I had a request to talk about the Reds. I'm a little confused. Did Bennett Walls wants me to talk about the Castellinis. Apparently, Bennett Walls is a Reds fan. It sounds like he's from England, so Mr. Walls from England, who is a Reds fan, apparently. Strange. The Castellinis, I don't know. I guess there was controversy, that everybody's demanding they sell the team because now I guess we're getting frustrated in, what is it now? I did some rudimentary Castellini research before coming out here this morning. They bought the team 15, 16 years ago, and you've won nothing. Nothing. I don't know. I mean, you're in a small market. To win in a small market, you got to be smart. It's been done to some degree. Kansas City won a championship. I would say that's an aberration, if not just luck. The A's seem to have some success being relevant, at least. They never win anything, but they're usually somehow in the mix. Pittsburgh would be an example of what not to do. I don't know the Castellinis from Adam. I know the Reds are a perennially bad team. So the Castellinis probably have to bear some of that responsibility. But now, looking at what they did in the offseason, the Reds, I guess that's the current impetus, that there was a big sell-off of veterans generating a lot of fan upset. I don't know. I mean, for example, I have one of your guys. I have Nick Castellanos on the Phillies. I mean, do you really want to re-sign this guy? I mean, I looked up his average WAR, and we're a big believer of WAR, and that means wins above replacement. We're not a big fan of the Ukrainian war. We think it's stupid, idiotic, and the United States should not be involved. Just to be clear, in case you missed all the political videos we do here. Not a fan of the Ukrainian war. It's a stupid thing and we shouldn't be involved in it. But war, as far as wins above replacement, we're a big fan of that. Well, anyway, Nick Castellanos' WAR, his average over the last 5 years, when, in the prime of his career, I would argue, 26 to whatever he is now, 30, 31, 2. You're going to pay this guy $20 million a year for a 2 WAR? That's just stupid. But, that's what, the Phillies do, apparently. So I think the Reds made a move there as far as, we're not paying this guy what the Phillies want to pay him. We'll find our own WAR, and it'll be a hell of a lot cheaper than that. Now, the Reds have made some, and the rest of the guys they let go, I just don't know well enough to say one way or the other. I mean, early in the year, I could see that let's see, Suarez, Winkler, neither one of those guys is tearing up the American League yet. Sonny Gray, I don't even know where he went. So, I don't know. They just because you are a veteran doesn't mean you deserve this huge salary. Now, they've made some stupid moves. I mean, and I don't know if the Castellinis, whose idea was it to ink Joey Votto at age 30 to some Albert Pujols type contract for the next 10 years. Well, that was just stupid. That is not, a team like the Oakland A's would never do something like that. We're not going to lock ourselves into 25, 30 mil a year to some guy who's 37 years old in a small market. That's just dumb. So that was stupid. Some of the managerial hires the Castellinis have been bad. And then they hang on to these guys too long. Like the Brian Price. I remember he within his first year, I think, of being a manager, he just like went off the deep end on a reporter who was just doing his job. A reporter actually reported, believe it or not, he actually went out and found a story other than what was spoon-fed to him by the organization or the manager. You know, they have these little press conferences and they sit there at their little table and they tell you pretty much absolutely nothing or whatever they want you to know. Well, apparently the reporter went out and actually found information outside of that little pipeline, and the information I think was whether or not a player was going to play or not, you know, his injury status or something, and how that affected. It was like, well, this guy looks like he's really hurt and he's not going to play, or something to that effect. And this guy flipped out. He flipped out. Brian Price just completely flipped out on the reporter. It's like, are you an idiot? What are you getting all bent out of shape for? Maybe you should worry more about the product that you're putting on the field, whether or not you think this reporter broke some unwritten rule, which he didn't. He did his goddamn job. Do your goddamn job. But rather than say, well, this guy's an idiot, we probably ought to get rid of him. You know, the Reds hung on to this guy for another 3-4 years to, I think, everyone's detriment, as the Reds under Brian Price were terrible. And I don't think Brian Price has had any success anywhere since then. I could be wrong on that. That one's off the top of my head. I don't think that guy's landed any kind of big league managerial job where he's been any good. But those are just some examples. So, you know, as far as the Castellinis and sell the team, yeah, I mean, the guys, that's basically his point. If they sold the team to a billionaire, he better have some Cincinnati roots. Because otherwise, yeah, he's going to be going to old Rob Manfred saying, hey, I want to move the team. And Rob Manfred is not exactly Mr. Traditionalist Baseball who's going to say, we've had a team in Cincinnati since this thing started. We always have to have a team in Cincinnati. You can't move the team. He's not going to say that. Rob Manfred's all about the Bucks. Rob Manfred's all about the Bucks. The other owners are all about the Bucks. There isn't going to be this huge outcry to save baseball in Cincinnati amongst the other 29 owners. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, if these guys dump the team, do you have any other billionaires in Cincinnati other than the Castellini family? I don't know. Yeah, don't know. So yeah, I mean, it's a painful reality. You know, basically your position is, as a Reds fan, is you want to go to the ownership and say, be smarter. Don't be such idiots. Come on. You got to make better decisions. I think if, you know, Johnny Bench seemed to, you know, I read this 5 minutes ago. Johnny Bench seems to be, he likes the old man, I guess, the Bob Castellini. I guess the son is involved in the day-to-day operations of the team. That I'd be a little nervous about. I've dealt with in my day job, I've dealt with way too many family-run operations where the father's the one, he's the torpedo, he's the one that got all the business going, he's the one smart guy, and then the son is just poor imitation, a bad copy, you know, silver spoon in his mouth his whole life and really doesn't know much about anything. Those, I've dealt with a lot of those kind of companies. So, yeah, so I don't know. It's a tough one between the Phillies and the Reds as far as which organization is run more poorly. The Phillies have more money, so that enables us to probably be more competitive. But I don't think the Phillies are run any better than the Reds. We just have more money. So yeah, it's a tough one, Bennett. You've got they just don't have the capital to swim with the big fish. That's you can't run with the big dogs if you don't have the money, and the Castellini simply don't have the money. So you've got to try to pick and choose your spots and try to grow your young talent, which seems like what they're doing by getting rid of guys like Castellanos. So that's good, so I wouldn't totally bail on whatever the plan is presently in Cincinnati. It sounds like they have some vague idea what they're doing. We'll see. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the picks. We actually have a handful of them here today. And I talked so long about Bob Castellini, my computer went to sleep. Hopefully everybody else other than Bennett Walls didn't go to sleep too. Let's see. All right, we're going to take the Diamondbacks early here. I know it's opening day, but the Mets are the Mets, and the Mets. This would be a perfect Met type thing where they go on the road and they have a good start and they take 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia and it's all happy, happy, joy, joy in Metland, and then they dump their hope opener to the Diamondbacks. That would be a Met thing. So that's what we're playing. The Mets to Met today, and we'll hit a huge price on the Diamondbacks. So that's what we're looking for there. We're going the other way with the huge favorite, the Yankees. For some reason, the Yankees lately have just owned Baltimore. They just, especially down there, they just dominate that team. We're going to go on the run line, just try to cheapen it up a little bit for us. Montgomery, he makes me a little nervous. That's why I think we're going on the run line in case he just goes out and gets torched and it ends up 5-0 Orioles after 3 innings. Well, then we're not going to get hurt so bad as if we were just playing it straight up at -200. Brewers, Cardinals. The Brewers right now seem to have put a little wave together. See if they can keep it rolling here at home on a Friday night. Peralta, we like him better than Mikolas. I think he's the guy with the mustache, right? And then we're going to take the Marlins, Louis. We just Phillies aren't playing well. And remember, this is not the NFL. This is baseball. When the team's not playing well, that can go on for a week or two. It doesn't change day to day. A team's not playing well, that can go on for a while. So the Phillies are not playing well right now, and they never play well in Miami. So you got those things coupled with the Marlins at a relatively cheap price here. I think it's worth a shot here with the Marlins. So that's the 4 games we got here for today on Friday, tax day, the 15th of April. Good, great, thanks. Thanks for stopping by. We'll probably have at least one show over the weekend. Depends how much I drink tonight, whether that'll be for Saturday or Sunday. Oh, joy. The excavator. The plumber's here. That means I gotta go freaking dig holes in the yard. Yay! All right, good. Thanks. We'll talk to you again. Eric Arnold signing off.